if I can do this. 2 decades ago, my wife and I began a menage a trois. Now, before you think this is going to be some juicy story, let me just say that the third party was not a person, but a place. A place called Arizona. And we would go out there every year for vacation, and all we could think about was, boy, I can't wait till we retire so we can move out here. And after the kids moved out of the house, we started thinking, you know what? Why should we wait? We're young enough. We can go out there, get jobs, and live our life out there right now. There's no reason to wait anymore. She's a teacher. I work in television. There are TV stations and schools out there, so it's no problem. We'll find jobs. So we had a plan. We're going to go out there. I'm going to find a job. As soon as I get a job, she can sell the house, quit her job, come out there, find a job. We live happily ever after. So we rent a house in Arizona for the summer. We figured we're going to try it out for style. She's out of school, and I'm going to start looking for work. First month, we kind of laid back. We didn't really look too hard. I didn't look too hard. We were just having a good time. But then I started getting serious, and she's like, when are you going to get that job? I finally get the job. But I don't get it right away. The last day that she's there, before she's ready to fly back home to start the school year here, I get an interview, my first interview at a TV station in Phoenix. So it's a two-headed interview, Randy and Al, grilling me for 2 hours. And when I'm done, I walk out of there feeling like I aced this. We had great rapport. I'm going to get this job. It's going to work. Put my wife on a plane home after that, and the waiting game begins. And about a week later, Randy calls me up and says, "Job's yours if you want it." And I said, "Yes, yes, this is working. It's all going according to plan." I said, "But you just give me," it was Labor Day weekend, right before Labor Day weekend. I said, "Just give me the weekend to talk it over with my wife, and we'll see how we're going to, and I'll let you know Monday or Tuesday." So I call my wife up, and guess what? All of a sudden, she's not so excited about this anymore. Now it's reality. The hammer is hit, and she's just thinking, "I don't know if I really want to do this." And I'm like, "What? Why we planned this? Everything was going according to plan. I'm keeping my end of the bargain. I got the job. That was like step one. But I don't want to move." I'm like, I can't believe this. So we argued about it and talked about it, hashed it out for 2 days, and finally I realized, okay, it's not worth it. I'm coming home. Packed the car and started driving home. But 2 or 3 days later, I was somewhere in Indiana, and I called Randy and said, "Randy, guess what? Can't take the job. Wife's not on board with it anymore," and you know. So he says, "Oh, well, that's the way it goes. Listen, if you're ever going to get out here again, or you ever move out here, give me a call. Stay in touch." Okay, fine. So I didn't feel so bad about it. I get home. The car stays in the driveway, still packed with all my belongings, and I refuse to unpack because I know the minute that I unpack it, it's going to be reality. The dream is officially over. So I leave the car sitting there with all the things in it for a week and mope around the house, and occasional conversations with the wife, like, "Why didn't you tell me this before we even started this crazy idea?" So a week later, she says to me, "All right, look, if you're going to be this upset about it, all right, let's go. We're moving." We're like, yes, yes, okay. Don't worry, it'll be great. It'll work out. I call Randy up and I say, "Randy, listen, my wife had a change of heart. I'm coming." He said, "If the job's still there." He goes, "Well, it is. All right, get out here as fast as you can." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll be there in a couple of days." The next day, in the mail, comes a letter from my wife's radiologist saying, "There's a problem with your mammogram, and we have to do more tests, and you need to come in." I'm like, what? I can't believe this. The timing's like ridiculous. So I tell her, "Listen, get in there tomorrow. Get in there as fast as you can to this for the checkup." And she said, "I can't get in for 9 days. That's the earliest they can get me in." I'm like, 9 days? This ain't gonna work. I call Randy up and I say, "Look, my wife might be having some kind of major medical issue. This is the wrong time to be moving out west." So I call, so He understands, and that's basically the end of that, and we wait the 9 days. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, Randy and Al are probably having a field day with this. Every time they pass each other in the hallway, Al says to Randy, he's taking the job. Next time they see each other, he's not taking the job. He's taking the job. He's not taking the job. I just couldn't really wrap my head around that. So my wife goes in, and it turns out she has no problems. She's absolutely fine. It was a false positive or something, and everything is great. Fantastic. So I'm going. I call Randy back up, and I go, Randy, guess what? Great news, my wife's okay. She says, He goes, well, the job is actually still here. You have some credentials and stuff, and it's like we're having a hard time to find somebody to fill that out here in Arizona, so, get out here as fast as you can. I said, all right, I'll be there in like 4 days. The next morning, I come down to the kitchen table, I'm ready to leave, and my wife is sitting at the kitchen table crying. Tears are streaming down her eyes, and I try to console her. I say, look, it's going to be all right. A year from now, you'll be looking back at this and go, boy, I don't know why I had any reservations about doing this. And she continues crying, and she goes out the door off to work, and a few minutes later, I get in the car, and I'm about to leave and change my life, and it was as if my hand, the key, the steering column, everything was suddenly cast in cement. And I couldn't turn the key. I could not start the car because love was objecting. Thank you.